Hello everyone, this is me without any cool eyeliner, no fancy lighting going on, just a very quick video. I thought I'd give you guys a little update on my art grant, my whimsical performance art piece that I'm going to be bringing to Element 11 this year. Some things have happened, and I figured I would just catch you all up to speed on what's been going on and what are some of the things that I've pulled together to execute this vision of mine. If you don't know anything of what I'm talking about, here is a link to that video. And if you don't want to watch that video, I'm just going to tell you, I got an art grant to do a silly performance art thing at Element 11. There you go. That's all you need to know. So what's been going on? Well, a week ago, there was a event called Start, which was hosted by Element 11. And it was an opportunity for anybody that had an art project to basically present like a science fair type of booth at this event down in downtown Salt Lake. And anybody that showed up would just get $100 just for attending and presenting their artistic idea. And then you would be able to solicit tokens from people, which you would then take these tokens, go up to the front desk, and then they would essentially total that up and mail it out to you. And if I'm not mistaken, any of the money that you were donated by other people there, Element 11 would double. So how cool is that? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've got like another $140 total now sent towards this art project, which is phenomenal. And I had a lot of fun. It was actually really cool seeing some of the other art projects take shape. I didn't actually have a lot of time to take pictures because I was just talking to people, which is great because I didn't think anybody was going to pay much attention to my little idea, but I am continually proved wrong by the energy that people are willing to invest in moi. But I digress. So I got some more money, and now that the check has been cashed and the money delivered, I have basically spent it all already, which I am not super excited about because I don't even have everything I need yet. Some of the stuff I need is not as expensive, but I'm gonna have to do some serious scrounging if I want to avoid dipping in a bunch of money out of my own personal funds. So the things that I bought that have sapped most of my money. I went back and forth quite a few times on the structure that I wanted to make that would house the little performance art piece out in the playa out in the desert. And I thought about maybe I'll build a cool thing out there, wood and canvas, or maybe I'll invest in like a pop-up style tent that maybe has a interesting look, and then maybe I can upgrade with some tie downs, maybe some steel lag bolts, so the structure will be sound. But looking it over, like I just couldn't find anything that was cool enough to warrant spending the money on. And obviously, if you spend, thousands and thousands, you can get something really cool. But I just couldn't find a tent structure that looked cool, that was lightweight, and had just the look and feel that I was going for. I did, however, find this not portable pergola structure thing on Amazon, which I don't know if I'm insane for purchasing, but I purchased it, and it's way too big to bring in here to show you, and I haven't even done a test assembly yet. But assuming this is going to work, it is a 200-pound couple of boxes of aluminum posts and this turquoise sort of arched retractable canvas. I'm really hoping the Amazon reviewers were accurate when they said it just took them a couple hours to assemble. I'm slightly worried that I did not go for a traditional tent route, because the thought of this thing taking me 12 hours to assemble in the hot sun at the beginning of the festival and then 12 hours again to take it down, I think that sounds miserable. I will be doing a test build, and I'll film a video of that as well to make sure it only takes a few hours and to make the modifications that I need. But man, I'm a little worried about it. It's very heavy. It is very heavy. Yeah, I don't have any help out there. So anything I build out there, I'm going to have to do on my own. So I thought wood would be cheaper to go. I thought about just going to Home Depot and building something like this myself, but The price of wood has skyrocketed. These tariffs are not helping anything, so it was somehow cheaper to just get an aluminum pergola, which looks like this, instead of building something. So that took about 250 bucks, 300 bucks, rip to that. So that takes care of the structure, and now I have to light this darn thing. And my original plan was to use LED curtains on each side of this thing, which are extremely bright. They have customizable images that you could put on them. They're decently weatherproofed. And just the idea of having a custom image playing on these, a giant glowing cube out in the desert that people could enter if they wanted, that just seemed like a really cool idea. I did not, however, consider how much power that would take. My original plan of using just a portable power station and then just letting that run through as the festival progressed, these curtains, their power draw would be quite significant, and there would be no power in this thing basically after the first night. And I don't want to buy a bunch of power stations, so I thought maybe it's time to get rid of the curtains and try something else. And I could do a diesel generator. I know a lot of other people bring diesel generators to power the lights that shine on their art structures. I've just never liked the idea of diesel generators out camping. I know a festival's different. There's all kinds of noise and smells and stuff, but it's not my vibe. A power station is just something, it's clean, that you can bring inside the house, that you can bring on smaller camping trips, that doesn't disturb anybody. You don't have to fuel it. You don't have to worry about winterizing it if you're putting it outside somewhere. I don't know if you have to, but they're stinky and smelly, and I just don't want to deal with a diesel generator. So I really wanted to stay with a power station. So what I ended up buying instead, which you can see behind me, I've got one of these little Aurora light things. Oh, I've turned it off on accident, and I've turned it back on. These little guys, this is one of those stupid TikTok style products. The algorithm clocked me for this, and they did a pretty good job. Ooh, that actually looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll have this off camera more often, because I had this pointing at the background for a video once, but I was kind of disappointed at how not powerful it was. But if it's shining on me, you can actually see quite a bit of it. Interesting. Anyway, not the point of the video. Instead of a bunch of high power draw LED curtains, I would buy a bunch of these, 4 of these, and hang these from each of the pergola corners. And the thought of, I don't know if you can see this super well. I'm going to turn off the light so you can see. The things I do for my 120 subscribers. Hopefully I didn't hit the mic there too bad. But here we go. Yeah. There's this tiny little light in here that can change colors. Obviously it's green now. And it is rotating inside, and the light is passing through this sort of textured plastic acrylic material. And it, creates sort of like an aurora effect. Obviously the camera is having a hard time pulling focus with this. But I had an idea of turning these into lanterns. And this pattern, the aurora pattern that you see here, would be kind of lost if these are pointed up towards the sky. But if you turn them upside down and point them at the ground, and maybe I could build, attached little columns or whatever, and a little chain at the top, these could actually look like maybe Japanese or Chinese style paper lanterns. I just thought that would look really, really cool. A couple of awesome glowing lights. You guys know I'm a fan of the glowing aurora lights. I always have the aurora on my computer in the backdrop. So that was my idea. I'd get a power station, and I would use the wattage of these, and it would be much less. However, I greatly underestimated how much power a power station offers. So I don't remember how much power draw the LED curtains had. It was a fair bit. But these little lights behind me, 4 of those is about 20 watts for an hour. which is not bad, but I just assumed, because they're so small, that surely like a $100 power supply would be adequate, and I was wrong. I would need, after doing the math, if they're going to be running for about 12 hours a night, and it's 20 watt hours per hour, I'd need close to 1,000 for like a 3-day festival. That was kind of a bummer. I genuinely was not expecting that power draw to be adding up that fast. So thank goodness I did not stick with the LED curtains, because at that point I really would be looking at a diesel generator type situation. But the power station I ended up buying after doing my math has arrived. I've been using it as a footrest. I figure I will bring it into the camera frame now. It's surprisingly heavy, but I bought this thing. I guess this is going to turn into an unboxing video. Not that I planned that, but, you know, why not? We may as well get a look at this thing. The reason I decided to kind of panic buy this sooner rather than later was I saw that they had some kind of Earth Day sale, and the full price of this thing was something like $800, and they were selling it for $450. I don't expect this to actually often retail for $800. I used to work at Hobby Lobby, and they would do this thing of like, the furniture's, 30% off this week, but it was always 30% off. So it's not really a sale. So I suspect they probably run sales on these pretty frequently. But with that said, I don't have too much time to plan my Element 11 art project, and with these tariffs coming through, I was not sure what sort of price hikes to expect. So I just decided, okay, well, it's on sale now. Guess I'll buy this now. Now, there's another box inside the box. Okay. Oh, man. This is surprisingly heavy. Ugh. All those hours at the gym paying off. I'm gonna put this... Oh, let me hit the roof and the light. Oh, my God. Put my knife away too early. Never put your knife away too early. I feel like that's a survivalist phrase in some survivalist handbook somewhere. Words to live by. All right, here we go. The great Anker Solis power supply. And packing foam. Wow. We got a box of something. We got foam dooley dads. A bunch of papers. I probably opened this the wrong way. Everything's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. There we go. This thing, $450. Whew. The Aura lights that I have are USB, so obviously we've got these two ports here. I am hoping that I can get away with a USB to USB-C adapter, and then I can use those other ports there. Failing that, I'm sure I can use some of these larger inverter spots as well. But I actually don't know a whole lot about power stations. I don't know if turning on the inverter or something is going to be necessary to use these, or if that will be worth it. If that's going to create more of a power draw situation, I don't know. But I also bought a USB extension cable that is 10 feet long. I know the length of an extension cable also affects power draw and can sometimes be a hazard as well. I don't know how, and I'm only regurgitating mindlessly what I have consumed on the internet elsewhere. But, I could believe it. I don't know how electrons, how do they work? I don't know. But, figure I could plug this in Actually, maybe I can test both of these right now. Let's see what happens if I press this button. I wonder if sometimes they leave the factory with a little small amount of charge. Not this one. I guess I'll set this down. But I think I can test this little USB extender thing, and I will do that right now. Well, I'll be dadgummed. The extension cable appears to work. Cool. For some reason I was expecting this to not work just because the power draw of this is so small. I was wondering if it just wouldn't have the sauce to travel 10 feet, but I guess it does. So we love that. We love sauce. Cool. Well, that concludes my Element 11 unboxing video. So the things that I need to figure out still. I need a nice area rug and some pillows because I want this area to be a pleasant space to hang out in. I want this area to be a pleasant space to hang out in. Oh, fuck, I can't speak. I want this area to be a pleasant space to hang out in, even when I'm not there. So, want some comfy stuff lying about to provide a cool meditative space for when I'm not performing. So a rug would be cool. I'm also trying to devise the rest of the little lantern housing because I don't want to just grab these right there. I just don't want to throw those upside down. I want to dress them up a little bit. And I think that's just about everything that I wanted to cover today. I think next time we're going to go over what I'm going to do differently instead of the LED sign viewer. Hopefully I'll have sourced some rugs and throw pillows. And I'll also figure out my little gift-giving component to this performance art. Last time I was doing hand mirrors, and this time I think I want to do something a little bit more ambitious. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully I'll have eyeliner and I'll look cool next time. Not today, but you get what you get. Peace, guys. I'm out of here.